taking inspiration from some of our favorite YouTubers, Mrs. Karnes and me scheduled an Ybor City food tour during our trip. Ybor City is literally the heart of the Cuban district of Tampa and a 45-minute drive from Clearwater Beach. This was 1 week after Florida opened back up, and we not only had the tour to ourselves, but almost the entire Ybor City area as well.
Cigar factory in Havana, but Cuba was still under Spanish rule at that time, and he was a business owner, so he was getting massive taxes put on him. So because of that, he sided with the Cuban Revolution, and because of that, Spain put a warrant out for his arrest, so he had to also flee Cuba, and that's what brought him here to the United States.
Our first stop on the food tour was a nod to the German heritage of Ybor City, Tampa Bay Brewing Company, and of course, it featured beer. If you like good craft beer and spicy wings, make Tampa Bay Brewery a stop while in Ybor City. And remember, beer is your friend.
Down and bring them lunch, and they would eat their lunch, and then the families would stay and sit outside the windows and listen to the lectors do their thing. And the lectors, like I said, there was no radio or TV, so the lectors were like the celebrities of the day. So they were, you know, the tour, and the visitor center, we usually would go there.
Italians make up a large part of the history of Ybor, and what better way to celebrate their culinary influence than with a stop at New York Pizza, where the folded, hot, cheesy slices are so nice, they named them twice.
They own the place. We'll see lots of them at the park. They kind of come.
Stone Soup Company is a hip, enjoyable stop in Ybor City. This eclectic, fun restaurant and bar, complete with secret door, is well known for several dishes, including one of the staples of Floridian sandwiches, the Cuban.
And the Swiss pickles and mustard, Germany. So this is kind of a meld of all.
Multicultural.
Yeah. And it should be called the Ybor sandwich, in my opinion.
Instead of the Cuban.
Yeah, and you know, this is our thing. And I have a good story. I had a lady on my tour. That's a mojo jus. Mojo jus. Yes. And I had a lady on the tour that had just gotten back from a cruise to Cuba, back when you could still cruise to Cuba. And when they got off the ship, they asked the guy, where could they get a good Cuban sandwich? And the guy told them Tampa. Actual size. But that's a replica of the chairs that the workers would sit in when they rolled the cigars. And there's several of those around the city.
That's a cool touch.
Yeah. And most of them are near the streetcar port. There's two different parades, and we have all kinds of different parties and events. And basically, we just dress up like pirates and get drunk, and that's our thing. And all like for a month straight.
Our last food-only stop on the tour was Gasper's Grotto. This place feels like a bar, creates food like a top-level restaurant, and makes everyone who comes in feel like Norm from Cheers. It also has a huge selection of ship bells displayed throughout. We sampled two staples of the Cuban diet, red beans and rice. Even though it was 90-something degrees outside, I did not mind the hot, spicy dish. Our Ybor City tour ended with a stop at Tabanero's Cigars, a cigar and coffee shop in the very heart of Ybor. Cuban coffee is meant to be drank black and strong, with Demerara, a raw type of brown sugar. Tabanero was voted best cigars in Tampa, and you can certainly see why when you watch the expert staff roll the cigars right before your eyes.
It smells amazing in here, if you like the smell of cigars, which I do. Look at all those. I'm in the cigar room. Look how fancy some of these are. Just guess I didn't know they did that. those with the little designs on them. Look at these. These look like candy. And these are square. Just didn't know they did all these different kinds. These are darker colored ones.
When he would come to Tampa and do his revolutionary business. This is actual Cuban soil. This is owned by the Cuban government. And not only is it Cuban soil legally, but these little markers, see those? Cuba had 6 provinces at the time, and the actual soil from each province, like it's actual Cuban soil as well.
Oh, we're in Cuba.
The boarding house, they wanted to make the boarding house a museum where it stood here in this spot, but when they went to do that, it had too much termite damage, so they knocked it down and made it a park instead. The other statue is General Masio. He was second in command in the Revolutionary Army.
While not an official stop on the tour, no trip to Ybor or the Tampa area should be taken without a stop at the Columbia. The Columbia is the oldest restaurant in Florida, opening in 1905. The food is Cuban, the drinks are Cuban, and on Wednesday nights at the Ybor location, you can have a truly authentic Cuban dinner and be entertained with a professional flamingo troupe. The 1905 salad is world famous and made tableside, as is their sangria. Mrs. Karnes would recommend the mojito with the grouper Jimmy, and I always order the Joe and Marilyn Salteador, named after Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe. Hello everyone, thanks again for watching the latest episode of Mrs. Karnes and Me. We had a lot of fun in Ybor City. It's a really cool place. If you ever get a chance to visit, you should go and book that food tour. It was a really neat experience. You probably won't get to see the city like we did with almost no one in it, but the more people adds to the merriment, so I think you would enjoy that. No wine talk today. Given the Cuban influence of today's video, I thought we should go with a Cuban influenced beverage, and that's a little rum. You probably remember from the very first video that we made, we talked about that we had been to almost all of the islands in the Caribbean, and we've been to a lot of rum tastings as a result of that. This is the very favorite wine, rum, not wine, that we have ever sampled along our travels, and it is Appleton Estate. This is a Jamaican rum. Very smooth, very balanced. It's not too spicy, it has just enough spice to it. It's very good for lots of different mixed drinks, and it's also good just to pour over a little ice and sample a little bit and sip on yourself. So that's our drink for today. Take a minute, hit that like button for us. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel on YouTube, I know a lot of you watch it via the Facebook links, go ahead and click on over to YouTube and subscribe. We'd really appreciate that. And your subscription may help us keep this content going. What am I kidding? We're going to make it anyway because we have fun doing it. So with that, I will bid you adieu, and I will wish you a very happy evening. Thanks for watching Mrs. Karnes and Me. Cheers.
Thank you so much. Here's to living the good life. It's really good. I know.